everyone to think back to the first time they were asked, what do you want to be when you grow up? Or maybe, rather, who do you want to be? I was asked this a lot growing up, and when I was younger, I loved this question because it was this beautiful reminder that I had the whole world in front of me, and I could be absolutely anything. So it felt like my answer changed every day. As I got older, the question got more intimidating because, again, served as this reminder that I had the whole world in front of me, and I could be absolutely anything, and yet nothing seemed to stick. It felt like everyone around me had this plan, and I was just stumbling through life waiting for something to stick. I hit 18, and I still really didn't know what I was doing. That's a lie. I knew two things. I knew I wanted to help people, and I wanted to be an engineer like my dad. I just wasn't sure what kind, so I picked the one that seemed the most interesting at the time. I picked biomedical engineering, and I said, that's my path. Step one of this path was in education. So my dad and I drove down to Purdue to tour, and I remember walking around campus and realizing that I didn't like it. Now, looking back, I was tired, I was hungry, I'm pretty sure it was raining, actually. So not the best show of campus overall. I love it now, I promise. But I'm trying to think of ways to justify this trip to my dad when we walk into Armstrong Hall and I'm introduced to the EPICS program. Now, if you're unfamiliar with EPICS, it's a service learning course that was founded here at Purdue. It pairs teams of interdisciplinary students with real-life partners, and we're told to solve some problem that our partner poses. So we go through the iterative design process of specification, design, manufacture, testing, restarting when something inevitably fails. And at the end, if it passes all of our testing, meets all of our standards, it gets sent off to our partners to help people in the real world. It's an amazing program. I came to Purdue for the EPICS program rather than any specific degree path. I started my freshman year, and I loved it. My project was amazing. I was helping people. I was good at it. This was exactly what I wanted. So why was I so unhappy? I had failed calculus twice, actually. My intended major felt more like a mistake every single day, and I felt like a tiny fish in an ocean I just didn't belong in. I was going to drop out. But I couldn't lose EPICS. It was the one thing in this entire process that just felt right. Now, for a little bit of context, my freshman year project is still my favorite project because it really shaped who I am today. We are partnering with a family whose child has a neuromuscular disorder that causes them to be unable to make or maintain muscle mass. Now, the easiest way to visualize this for everyone in the room is we're all currently using muscles to keep ourselves upright and stable even while sitting. They just can't do that by themselves. So for situations like sitting in a bathtub, for instance, that gets very dangerous very quickly. So my team was tasked to design something that was long-term and low cost that would keep them safe and stable in a bathtub through muscle weakness, through seizures, through pretty much anything you could throw at it, while still allowing enough freedom for them to just play and just be a kid, because at the time they were 2 years old. We delivered that product at the end of my freshman year. Something I designed, something I made, is currently keeping a little kid safe. And that is the best feeling. That is an honor. But most importantly, at the time at least, it felt right. I had been stumbling through life waiting for something to stick, and here it was. I couldn't give that up. EPICS showed me that engineering had been right all along. It was the end setting that was wrong. I can't do this. I won't do this if the rest of my life is spent in an office or in a lab away from the people that I serve. EPICS introduced me to boots on the ground engineering, and I wanted that. And that led me to something called multidisciplinary humanitarian engineering, disaster relief, wide-scale community support projects. And because I switched my path, I've had the opportunity to work locally on EPICS projects surrounding alternative evacuation methods for when stairs become inaccessible. I'm currently working on a national level with the Engineering Without Borders EPICS team, designing a functionally hurricane-proof community garden for an indigenous community in southern Louisiana to increase their sustainability and independence in the face of food deserts and natural disasters. And I've had the opportunity to work globally through study abroad to northern India, studying access to clean water and education, where I had the honor of helping kids like them. I am doing all of this amazing work that impacts real amazing people. And I never could have dreamed of this without EPICS pulling me to Purdue and keeping me here through hardship and through failure. And what I find hilarious about this whole thing is I was so convinced that I needed to follow that path I set for myself at 18. But life isn't about knowing exactly how it's going to plan out. Ultimately, I had to fail my first year. I wouldn't do it again, but I had to do it. And from that, I have learned that our purpose can find us in the strangest of ways. And sometimes, we just have to fail before we can fly. Thank you.